They're never that quick, though, are they? Anyways, wanted to start off with something that's making a little bit of news within the fitness industry. I don't know if you've seen this Netflix documentary over The Biggest Loser. The fitness community is all up in arms. I don't I don't know a single fitness pro who is aspired to be Jillian Michaels. So I kind of don't get what this is about, this hoopla. Don't really think she matters. She's not an example for anybody to follow. She has a great PR team. Nobody that I know that's interacted with her is impressed by her. Nobody's friends with her. Um, not a good human. Next, moving on. I don't know why this is a story. Um, Knee pain. Let's talk about knee pain for a second. I think when a lot of people get bogged down with, "Ah, my knee hurts," or "My elbow hurts." All right, let's take the elbow, okay? What's going on at the elbow? "Okay, I have pain right here." "What did you do?" I don't know, it's just been bothering me from pickleball, tennis, golf, whatever." Okay, cool. Sitting, traveling, driving, arm out here." Well, what are you doing for it?" "I take Advil." "Okay, how's that help?" "Oh, the pain goes away." "Okay." But then it comes back when when the Advil wears off. Okay. Let's look above and below. The rule here from a knee or the elbow standpoint is to look above or below the joint. And I think a lot of people don't really, they just get so myopic and they put some pain patch on it or whatever, and then they forget about their pain because it goes away for a little bit, but they didn't necessarily remember to treat what caused the pain. So specifically for the knee, specifically for the elbow, for the knee, if you have knee pain, how is your foot and ankle? Are they strong? Are they mobile? Are they stable? Do you have balance issues? If any one of those answers is yes, you might want to address it. We're talking about the elbow. We should be talking specifically about the wrist and or the shoulder because it can come down the chain. Um, it's almost a shoe-in that if you can solve one of those problems, you can probably add some value to that knee or to that elbow. So let's talk about creatine. Creatine was in the news this week because Ben Griffin, a golfer on the PGA Tour, overdosed on creatine. Is it possible you could overdose on creatine? The goofball took it in like 4 ounces of water and apparently was not prepared for his tea time for whatever reason. And so he didn't, he took his creatine on like going from the range to the course. And so he was shaky because he had too much creatine. This is the first I've ever heard of it, and I've been taking creatine since 2001. Is this something that you should be aware of? You should just be taking 5 to 10 grams. The rough estimate is um, the total number of grams is equal to I think it's 10% of your body weight. So if you're 180 pounds, you should be 18 grams. That's if you're super active, etc. But creatine is there, you should be 5 to 10 grams at minimum. The benefits are substantial. We know that for sure. You're not going to overdose like this gentleman claims that he did. You just didn't have enough water. Let's talk about learn and burn. So coming soon this fall is what's going to be called a learn and burn. This is our formula for getting new people in the door, but also getting new groups together. I think people that tend to work out together stay together, and or people that stay together tend to work out together. And so what we're going to be doing is doing some very specific opportunities for people to come together to learn together, suffer together, and uh, and to find out a little bit more about the fitness and wellness industry and how it can help them, and we're going to call these learning birds. So if you are an owner of a business, small business, manager of a business, small business, and you want to host one, please let us know. There is no cost to you. This is on us. All right. So your team wants to come in for a learn and burn. It's a small workout, um, quick, down and dirty. Please let us know. Please reach out. It's a great way for your team to again to come together. Um, Small group versus one-on-one. I think this is still come up lately because some people can get confused on the difference and what the difference is. Small group training and one-on-one training both have one-on-one programming. Now, that's with us. There are other models that are doing a one-size-fits-all training model. That is, by definition, group fitness, not small group. They're just changing the weight. That's not what we do. So when you're talking about the benefits of small group training, semi-private training with us, we do semi-private training where you're training like you're training with a one-on-one and your own program is your own. You're not doing what everyone else is doing. I want to harp on this because that is a big difference between small group training our way and the small group training that's basically just, oh, you just do a different load. That's group fitness. That is not small group training, just so we're clear. Um, You might be at risk. This is a risk factor from a coaching perspective. What I mean by that is the risk that you may face is if there is a coach that you are with that isn't necessarily principles first, and instead is their method first. Specifically, if they are a kettlebell person or a barbell person, guess what you're going to be training like? Even if it's not in your goals, you're going to be training because this individual is biased this way. This is why I say, are you at risk? You're going to be training like they're training, and that's to me has never been the way that it should be done. In fact, it should be, if you're going to Fidelity or you're going to Vanguard or you're going to Edward Jones and you're signing up for an investment platform, it's not according to them and how they do it. It's what your priorities and your how you want things to be. And for some reason the fitness industry has these kind of nuanced silos of, oh, this is starting strength, we do only barbells here, okay. Well, you do only kettlebells here, okay. Oh, this is a machine gym, okay. Like, the option should be, what are you looking to accomplish within the next 4 to 6 weeks, and how can I help? That's it. That's the nutshell, and so many people make it about themselves. So, that's why I asked the question, are you at risk of your coach's bias? Um, Specifically, we do individual programming per person, so I don't have a bias towards equipment. In fact, it's the opposite. Um, I I like this, I like this phrasing of, the most difficult question to answer is the one that's probably in the community's mind and probably the most confusing. Specifically, somebody asked me this the other day. They said, "Do you have a weight loss program in terms of training?" And I clarified. I said, "Do you mean, do we train people whose goal is weight loss?" And they said, "Yes." I go, "Okay, yes." And then there was a long pause, and I said, "Do you mean, do we help people specifically with different programs that are fat loss focused?" And she said, "Yes, but I know what you're insinuating." And I was kind of, I didn't say no, so I said yes. Um, and I know the question. And then I kind of proceeded to ask more questions. How many times a week are you going to work out? What's your current nutrition strategies like? Those are going to help me find out if we are in a fat loss phase for you, or if you're in a body recomposition phase, which is completely fine, or if you're in a caloric surplus. That's that's really the crux of this. So, um, I love the question, but it's a difficult one to answer if you're not prepared for it. Otherwise, you're going to start and you're just going to go off in a lecture and like, there's no such thing as a fat loss program. Well, yes, there is. If they're in a fat loss phase and they're in a caloric deficit, then they're in a fat loss program. But I had to be careful how I answered that. So, it's probably taken 20 years to get better at that. Um, we've been talking about the Inbody lately. The Inbody is a huge part of what we do. It's included with all your memberships from a gym standpoint in New York City. We don't have one necessarily here in Eureka, but it is a big part of what we do. And I've probably done, I don't know, five to 6,000 consultations, if not 10,000 consultations on it. I don't know the exact total number that we've done, but we have done a lot. Now, the InBody is an absolute powerful weapon, but here's my caution when it comes to the InBody. If you are somebody who it has only been doing fat loss and is never really focused on building muscle, and you're only doing Pilates and cardio, and you step on the InBody and you're not prepared to see 35 or 40%, and you don't focus on protein, and you don't have these healthy foundational habits that we know to be important from an osteoporosis to a lean body mass standpoint. This is not arguable. I'm just saying that, and it's fine that you're doing all of those things. This is not arguable. When you step on the scale and you get 35 to 40%, you're going to be pissed because you're going to say, I thought that my body fat would have been lower. I thought I was doing all the right things and eating mostly healthy, etc. This, again, this is not up for debate. These are good things, but you're not focusing on the things that are going to show up on the in body that are going to give you a good lean body mass, and low body fat, and that's not part of your program right now. So, going back to my previous point, which is the most difficult question to answer, is, do you do a fat loss program? Well, this question is so nuanced. The in body is so nuanced in terms of how can it help, and any DEXA scan and hydrostatic weighing, bod pod. These are all very helpful. However, again, the person has to be ready for the next phase. I remember distinctly when somebody, when they weren't ready. We first day we had our in body, we had 55 people come in and they did it and it was great. And I was like, wow, this is going to be a hit. And this person walked out and they were not happy with me. and they said this isn't accurate. This can't be accurate. I work out all the time. So what do you do? I do bar and I do Pilates. Okay. How much weight do you do on a squat? How much like they 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 got mad, and I felt guilty at some level because I didn't necessarily prepare them, and it doesn't tell the whole picture, right? It doesn't. But in the same token, they have to be ready for the InBody. So the InBody and any body fat measuring tool is a powerful weapon in discovering your metabolic health and your metabolism. Those are also two different things. That could be point number nine. There is a difference between your metabolism and metabolic health. Not the same. A lot of people say, "Oh, we should get your metabolic health tested and you may boost your metabolism." I'm like, "You're not saying the same thing." Separate conversation for later. Your metabolism is your basal metabolic rate, and it's your how many calories you need at rest, and it's comprised of your lean body mass and how much body fat you have, and your age and your activity level. Um, all of those things combined for your metabolism. So if somebody says, "I'm going to boost your metabolism and check your metabolic health," make sure that they're talking about two different things because they are two distinctly different things. I guess that was 9 points. That's all I have. Wanted to get this quick out there. Talked about biggest loser, knee pain, creatine, learn and burn, small group, coach's bias, the most difficult question, the in body, and finally, metabolism versus metabolic health. What's the difference? Have a great day.